Each week, the story is the same as Thad Duvall and Caleb Russell battle for 3 hours of cross-country racing. After round 4, Duvall finally has a win. Expect another classic today.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing?
It's the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC, and they will be firing off the line here on NBCSN, Racer TV's coverage of the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series, 3 hours of dirt bike racing through the woods. This sport has evolved from a technical test to a true fitness contest, and you'll see that in our Amsoil race recap of our previous event, Steel Creek GNCC in North Carolina. The Canadian Kevin Benoit grabs the whole shot, but soon Thad Duvall and Caleb Russell would take their customary positions at the front of the pack. Here's Russell leading right now with his arch nemesis right behind him. This track was super rough, whooped out, big ups and downs, and these two pulled a large gap on everyone else and just kept pushing the pace. No longer is getting through the obstacles the actual obstacle in these races. It comes down to who's faster and who's fitter. As Duvall and Russell chase each other with motocross-like intensity right down to the final lap. Russell had a line to try to get around Duvall. Didn't work. He tried another line to get around Duvall. Didn't work. After 2 hours and 51 minutes of racing, Duvall wins by 4 seconds. His first victory of the season, and the fans love the effort. Russell now has 3 victories and a second on the season. A lot of respect between the two who grew up racing this series together. But let's be honest, they're battling for the same prize, and that's going to make things a little bit tense out on the racetrack. Here's Thad.
You know, I would get the lead, and a lapper would mess me up, and he would get the lead. And luckily, I got the good end of the stick on the last lap. Like with 2 miles to go, a lapper kind of bobbled us both up, and I was able to go around. And then it was a dogfight to the end. I think just the last field section, I was so nervous because I know Caleb's a little bit better with me in the field, so I just I was riding so hard, and it feels good to win straight up. So, you know, it was a good day for sure.
And there is Duvall on the 989 with his wife Maggie there as he prepares for racing today, round 5. And while this dynamic duo, they are the headliners, several other riders hoping to break through, and we'll have a couple other classes to show you today. It's time for the start.
Are you ready to go Camp Coker Bullet GNCC Racing? 10 seconds. And row number 1, the XC1 Pro, will be off and rolling at the CST Tires Camp Coker Bullet GNCC.
Good start for Russell down to the inside. Ricky trying to battle with Caleb Russell for the lead. Rider down. I think that was Josh Strang hitting the ground. Duvall is right there splitting the two Russells. By the way, they're not related. Looks like Caleb's going to end up on top. And Ricky Russell getting squeezed out by Lane Michael and a couple of others as they head into the woods. So officially the All Balls Racing Whole Shot Award to Caleb Russell. Thad Duvall right behind him. Jordan Ashburn threw in the beta, then Michael, Russell. Rest of the field starting to get in this. 410, that red bike is a gas. Andrew DeLong. This is your 250 division, the XC2 class. A lot of young guns here, but it appears no matter who's on the line or where we go racing, Craig DeLong is always the one grabbing the starts, and that's the white Coastal Racing Husqvarna out front with yet another Whole Shot Award. Hot Cam's gonna give him some money. I think that is Josh Toth on the inside with the orange KTM, last year's champ, riding with an injury today. Let's see how he does. One more class to show you. It's XC3, the old 125s. Listen to these bikes. Alex Teagarden getting at the whole shot. FMF bringing you the action in this class. Jesse Ainsley and Jason Lagenbach trying to chase. And there is one veteran in this pack. Love to see old Jason Raines, now 40 years old, or approaching 40, I believe. We'll hold him at 39 for a while, battling the kids for that title. Here is Caleb Russell trying to get away, motoing right now. Let's check the gap. Already opened it up pretty good on Duval. This sandy soil is going to make it very tough on the riders today. I mentioned how these have become endurance contests, and this type of soil, when it gets so whooped out, as you see Ricky Russell come through the Ampro Yamaha in third, it's going to make the track very, very rough as the day goes on. We're going to hitch a ride with Ricky. He's going to try to bridge the gap to the lead duo. Stay with us, Racer TV on NBCSN.
The AMSOIL GNCC series on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you in part by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready, and by Monster Energy, unleash the beast.
Here's the women's class in Grand National Cross Country and your champ and winner, Taylor Jones.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. Like, Mackenzie got off to the lead in the start, but it's so dusty out there, we just like stuck in a train for most of the way. I got into the lead and it's still so close getting to the lappers. Like, we'd pull a gap and then stick back together again because we slowed down a fair bit. But yeah, I ended up having a good couple last laps. Becca got close again at the end, but I got the win, so I'm happy.
Both Jones and Mackenzie, that's Tricker, Mackenzie Tricker she's referring to, both Aussies. Caleb Russell on his KTM 350 still leading the way in our XC1 Pro division. The girls race 2 hours in the morning. The boys here are going to run the full 3. And at times, these opening laps, the riders would kind of back off and save energy, but we're not seeing much of that anymore. Both Duval and Russell used to struggle with their starts. Wow, look at that tight section. Much better line from Thad there, helping to close the gap. But anyway, both of these riders have improved their starts immensely, and we're seeing them also push harder earlier in the race. So you see Ricky Russell really putting the power down and riding well right now, but big gap already. And he's got a nice lead built up on everyone else. Jordan Ashburn coming through in the factory beta. Got Rodney Smith, the 5-time GNCC champ, managing that effort, grooming the machine and the rider. Maybe in contention for a podium today as he tries to run down Ricky Russell in third. Hey, Ryan Sipes coming through. Good to see Sipes not racing the full series this year. Going to race a variety of events. A lot of motocross going back to his roots. Stu Baylor comes through. Trevor Bollinger on the factory Johnny Campbell Racing Honda. And we got a freight train battle. Looks like Sipes has gotten around Ashburn, and Bollinger has gotten around Baylor. So they just switched it up. Nice battle brewing between these riders. Check in with Baylor again. Now, Baylor is a South Carolina resident. We talked to him before the race.
It's going to be a dust bowl. I mean, the first year here was obviously mutter. The last year was just about perfect conditions, and you know, this year it's going to be dry, and you know, those dry days it's tough because your mouth. Most of us ride with our mouth open, and the dust covers your mouth, and you're always drinking consistently, and you run out of water, you get miserable, you get dehydrated. It's going to be tough. It's a lot of square edge. It's still a fairly new GNCC, and the way the tracks break down over the years with the way the track crew preps them, you know, eventually the roots start to disappear. They get ripped out by the dozers, but at this point, you know, it's still a really rooty track, which the roots make for a lot tougher track, a lot more physically demanding.
Hey, look at that. Just learned something there. So on a rooty track, Baylor trying to work his way forward. He would love to at least get on the podium today. Man, you can see he has picked up his pace. So has Duval. He's right there in his customary spot, sitting on the rear fender of Caleb Russell. It has been so fun to watch these two over the last year or two battle like this. Now, Russell, if you're new to this, you should know that he's won the last 5 championships in this series. Woo! Thad, hold on to it. And he is also now the all-time leader in GNCC race wins. And they've been running this race since this series since the mid-1970s. So that says a lot about Russell's prowess. Over the last 2 seasons, Duval has really stepped up his game. He's been rewarded with the factory Rockstar Husky ride, and he's trying to shadow the champ into the pits. KTM mechanics fueling him. He's got his wife Chandler there providing the goggles and a little additional hydration. No cause for panic. That's team manager Antti Kallinen on the left. So Russell's starting to get away a little bit. A few key mistakes by Duval. but there is no backing down or resting to save energy. Baylor, meanwhile, making a bid for the podium. Let's see how far forward he can go. $123, Austin Lee and Pasquale Raschenecker out of Austria, two young up-and-coming stars battling in XC2 today. But we're going to check in the pits with our tech tip.
I'm Tanner Tremaine. I'm originally from a small town in Nevada called Gardnerville, Nevada. Currently reside in Temecula, California, and I am lucky enough to be Thad Duvall's mechanic. I started with the Endurocross series, which is pretty much a West Coast series. But it's in an arena. They're just riding over logs and rocks and small course stuff. And I was lucky enough to meet the team manager Timmy Wigan doing that stuff a couple years ago. I was kind of nervous at first because not only had I never done an East Coast race or an East Coast series, but I didn't know who Thad was. And so that, as a new mechanic to a new team, but a new rider, kind of made the transition pretty easy. I can typically read how he's riding, the way he's on the bike, and he's got no problem telling me if there's an issue or if something's not right. And so when he comes into fuel or comes into pit, it's normally just fuel, just give him gas. He's not even one to really take goggles. We'll give him water or a little, like a goo pack or anything like that, but if something's wrong, he'll vocalize it and tell me right then and there.
One of the unique elements in off-road racing is the pit stop. You don't get that in motocross or supercross, and look, it's in there right now. Tanner and the rest of the Rockstar Husky crew trying to keep their man Thad Duvall on track, and he has reeled in Caleb Russell once again, so a good battle brewing there. Look at this section of the woods, and look at this battle. Ricky Russell, this pack has finally caught him. Trevor Bollinger on the Honda, ready to challenge for the podium today. And they have hooked up, so the Yamaha and the Honda, good fight. Bollinger, great speed carrying through these sections. Russell out of the great Pacific Northwest. Bollinger more of a local product out of North Carolina. Whoa! And tangled up with a lapped rider, luckily to escape. And that is a huge part of this game. By the way, here's Cole Madison and the Yamaha leading the way in our XC2 250 class. Toth, who we mentioned before, started the year strong. Last year's champ then got hurt. He's on the comeback trail today, running well in second. So Madison and Toth in a good battle right now. We're looking for Ben Kelly, series points leader, 14th at the end of the first lap. Here's Evan Smith. Woo, hold on to that thing, missed the line he was looking for. Caleb Russell continues to lead XC1. Let's track Duvall's progress. Still right there. Still right there. That's the way it has been. This has been the classic anything you can do, I can do better battle between these two. And it will be interesting when we get into lap traffic to see if Duvall can make something happen there. Now check out this. Does this section not make you want to bust out the motorcycle and go ride? Yeah, doubling through the whoops. Now tripling into the whoops is Duvall. Now hitting Sam whoops like this for fun for a couple of laps, that's one thing. But doing it in the middle of a 3-hour race, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to endurance in GNCC. The fitness level of these two has just skyrocketed. Caleb was once really not known for his fitness. He got by with his tenacity and talent, but he has picked up and joined the ranks of Alden Baker, the famous trainer from the Supercross world. But as fit as he has gotten, Duvall has been able to match him stride for stride. We had a chance to talk to Caleb about these battles earlier today, and he admitted it has changed now that someone can go and push him all the way to the end.
I've changed my perspective on a lot of things going into the year, and I came to the realization I'm going to have to battle with these guys now, and they've caught up to me the first half of the race. Their sprint speeds came up substantially. Their fitness is getting better, and I'm having more battles, and I wasn't used to that 2-3 years ago, and I was kind of just dusting everybody in the beginning and having an easy race, and it was kind of I would be agitated when I'd have to work for it, so to speak. But I don't mind working for it. I like to do it, but I was more agitated at myself just because I felt like I had more to give and I didn't give it that day. But yeah, I'm just enjoying the process now, and you know, I enjoy battling those guys. It's when you win a close race, you feel like you've earned something, and you know, that's the best feeling about it, and that's why competition's so great.
And he has evolved quite a bit as a racer, even through the 5 championships. He picked up his game in the technical and muddy conditions as Duval's closer than ever. Then I think he's improved his starts, and now he's really worked on the fitness. But despite all those gains, the gaps just keep getting closer. Duval has picked up his game as well. And these two riders almost born to battle each other. They came through the GNCC youth and amateur ranks with a bunch of titles. Look at Duval now. He is really pushing. This is the charge. He's feeling fresh. He's feeling like this could be his chance to take the lead, and it has happened. So Thad laid there and wait for quite some time. And now, as we hit the stretch run, he's going to try to throw everything out there and maybe even pull a gap. So that's that new reality that Caleb Russell's been talking about. He's run nearly a flawless race so far, but he has given up the lead to Duval. Could it be 2 in a row for Bad Thad? That true test of fitness, heart, will, desire. Coming to the checkered flag soon.
The AMSOIL GNCC series on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you in part by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready, and by Monster Energy, unleash the beast.
Check out Ryan Sipes. We mentioned the battles out here. Lap Rider gets into him, and that's a huge factor in GNCC. So tough break for Sipes, who is joining us today. Meanwhile, up front, Caleb Russell has gotten back around Thad Duval. Duval put on that big sprint, got the lead. Russell has responded. Let's see if Duval has anything left in the tank to keep the pressure on and maybe repass him, and he does. Here we go around the outside. Duval's trying to make it happen. Once again, it's going to be full motocross style sprint down the stretch here in South Carolina. At our last race, though, it was Duval in the lead. This time it's Russell. Hammering through the sand. The legs, the back, these guys have got to be absolutely exhausted, dehydrated, probably cramping up. How bad do they want it? This is it. The crew's cheering them on. Final stretch. Duval's running out of time. 2 corners to go for Russell. Duval narrowly with the win at the last race. The rebound today is going to go to the champ. Caleb Russell wins it in South Carolina. And that's pretty cool, some bench racing between them. And these guys are beat. That was another classic.
Brutal day. Got a great start. Didn't quite get the whole shot, but Thad got it right on the outside of me. Kind of bummed about that, but you win some, you lose some. But man, the track was so brutal. I don't remember ever being this physically demanding. We've been here, you know, three years now, I think. And first year was muddy, second year was really good, and man, it was hard pack, square edge, and just beat you to the bitter end. I mean, it was brutal for sure. And Thad was riding really good. He kept me honest all day, and just stayed focused, and was able to get it done at the end.
Here's your AMSOIL race recap. Caleb Russell had the lead early, but rider goes down, Josh Strang, and look at Duval just nip him for the whole shot across the line. Ricky Russell right there. Good start for Ashburn and the Beta as well. Lane Michael in the hunt. But soon this dynamic duo would pull away and make it a private duel again. For much of the race, Duval was content to sit back in second. He made a couple of swings at it. One of them finally paid off. He got the lead. Caleb Russell able to hang with him and not allow Duval to sprint away. And the last race, Duval was in the right place at the right time. This time, Russell was. He retakes the lead. Thad was right there to keep the heat on to the end. Look at this attempt. It's almost a game of chicken. Who's going to back off last coming into this corner? Inside, outside, working each other. Russell takes the win. and some sportsmanship there as they break down the race with each other. Now let's let Thad break it down for us. We're going to look at the top 10 leaderboard today. Russell holds off Bollinger and Baylor. Strang from way back, solid ride. Now here's Thad.
Yeah, frustrating to lose like that. I think I'd rather lose by like a minute than lose like that. But, I left it all on the table. I gave it my all, and just he was a little better at the end. But, I had some lines picked out towards the end, and I bonsai'd him and got beside him and just couldn't make it happen. And just, when we got it first and second off the line, I knew it was going to be a long day. And, he took off and just kind of, I was riding my own race, and he kind of actually pulled me a little bit, and I just kind of set back and was like, oh, man, you just want to ride around in second all day, or you want to try to win? So put my head back down, charged, and caught back up, and just, we battled out from there. And, racing like that, we were pretty respectful, and just it makes it fun. It makes the race go by a little quicker. And, today was pretty long just with so many laps, and the track was so rough. And it's got to go home and do my homework and come back stronger for the X Factor.
Shout out to Ricky Russell. Great run on the Yamaha today, and he held up under pressure from Trevor Bollinger, Stu Baylor. Let's talk to him on a podium finish.
It was brutal. Even like you saw, Caleb and Thad, they were on another level, but they were both wore out because we were all pushing, and it was rough. It was short track. We did 8 laps today, which normally we do like 6. So 8 laps was kind of repetitive and kind of wore down the body in that brutal conditions. So. Got a good start and was able to run up there, but Caleb and Thad, like I said, took off, and I couldn't quite match that pace, and was kind of riding alone for a while. And then Bollinger started putting a little pressure on me, and then I don't know if he had some issues or what, but I was able to get back away. And then with 3 to go, had a big get off, and kind of laid there for a little bit. Thought I messed my knee up, and kind of got back on the bike slowly, and then started going slow, kind of thinking I might be done. And then pain started going away, and so I started to be able to pick it back up and go fast again. And it feels good to get back up here on the podium, because the first 4 rounds have been a little bit of a struggle. So I mean, with the end of last year, us being consistent podium finishers, that's not where we want to be. So we're back where we want to be right now. Hopefully take this momentum into the next few rounds.
Man, these guys are tough. There's your XC1 podium. Josh Toth takes the XC2 win over Ben Kelly and Austin Lee. Next race is the X Factor in Indiana. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching the Camp Coker Bullet GNCC, part of the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series.